This week, Russia plans to ban swearing on the internet just as soon as it finishes banning pictures of food, cats with poor spelling skills, and out-of-context references to Pokemon. Some college students turn a multi-million-dollar yacht into their own personal remote control toy. Find out how this affects your weekend at 11. And we sit down to interview absolutely no one. We're taking some time to focus on our relationship, okay? We need some time to think about us. My name's Justin Pott. I'm in Boulder, Colorado, and you're listening to Technophilia. Keep doing that. With me today from the UK, as always, is James Bruce. How you doing, James?
You know what? I'm devastated. My Habit RPG died. He lost his crap, and then I went down a level. I logged in one morning, and it's all like, you died. Perhaps you could concentrate on your dailies a bit hard. And I'm like, perhaps you should go Bing yourself. And then I remembered to concentrate on my dailies a bit more. So it's all good.
Maybe. Sounds like your fault, dude. Okay, also with me today from Connecticut is Dave LeClaire. How you doing, Dave?
Peekaboo.
What?
I was hiding my face behind my hands. I know you guys don't watch the video, but I was
Where'd he
playing
go?
peekaboo.
I don't understand.
With the peekaboo.
I think you disappear every time the camera changes focus. Holy crap, it's spazzing out. Okay.
Remember when you were like 12, or not 12, like 2, and you played peekaboo?
Remember when you were 12?
He did that when he
I
was
put a 1 in front of it. I figure our
12 isn't when
are
Peekaboo
about, like,
worked on
the
most
same
of us,
as
but
12-year-olds,
apparently...
So I thought that it would be appropriate for them.
Oh, whatever. I'm so used to introducing someone else and having a little interview segment here. I'm out of rhythm. We're going to have to really fill this up with some nonsense if we're going to hit an hour. I think. So it should be fun. Dave, I'm going to be leaning on you pretty heavily this week. Is everyone okay with that?
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Yeah, probably. It's probably not going to work out, but that's what we're
hey.
doing. Cool, well, let's get on to the make use of news, the news you can make use of right now, sort of. Anyway, Chrome.
Sort of.
Google's Chromecast. It's an affordable take on TV streaming. It's a little HDMI thing. Looks like a USB disc, basically. I guess it needs some kind of external power supply. Not sure on that. But you plug it into the back of your TV, and then if you have a laptop, you can send stuff that's on your laptop over to like the television thing in your living room, and it's selling very well because initially it came with 3 months worth of Netflix, and it costs less than 3 months worth of Netflix, so some people did the math. But
genius.
I mean, the device is like $30-something, I think. You probably know more about this than me, Dave, but it's a dead simple and completely affordable way to stream video on your television. So big companies like HBO, Redbox, Hulu, I think, are working on making their content go to it directly the way that Netflix does now and YouTube.
I'm waiting to see if it gets hacked in some way where it becomes like a device that you can do whatever the hell you want with. That's when, like, when you
You're
can
waiting for
install
XBMC
on it and all that. That's when
Yeah.
I'll be interested.
Yeah, that makes sense.
'Cause that's
Also,
how I roll.
Dude,
last-
it doesn't do anything. All it is like it's a target for broadcasting stuff. It doesn't do anything.
It's like a browser on a stick, basically, right?
No,
Sort of?
it plugs into your browser, so you can send stuff from your browser to your TV. It's
so you could
kind of
essentially watch anything.
yes. You
It
just
doesn't
need-
actually do anything on its own.
Well, yeah, you need some other device to send stuff with, but you can make this TV's stupid. It doesn't do anything without the remote. I mean, the web browser's the remote for it. That's
You
all.
could watch one channel if you wanted to.
You could.
Or Ice Films.
So
But only if you had your laptop broadcasting to it from Ice Films.
yes.
Right.
Which you could probably plug it in through an HDMI cable anyway. This is why it's
But that's
stupid.
why. Who wants
Yeah,
to
no,
run?
but no one wants a freaking cable coming out of their.
Yeah, my living room's big.
no one
I don't
wants
want to
that.
run a cable from my laptop. Although I need like I have a cable that does like a 12-foot HDMI cable. Who
And
wants that running across
Don't
their
even
living
think
room?
about playing in HD because it'll be stuttery as shit.
You think
Yep.
so?
We are not having a giveaway for the Mario plush in my room. That's mine. Actually, it's not even mine. It's my wife's, so sorry. You can find them at convenience stores, because that's where we got ours, I'm pretty sure. Anyway.
have
I don't
some
need a
Mario
Chromecast
boxes
as make
I'm
use
not
of
giving away
Lover. I
either.
have PS3 for that stuff. You see, people who have a game console already know this. This is hitting that, I don't know, the 12 people who don't.
Yeah, but if you have on a game console, you can't watch one channel and ice films. I mean,
That's
People
true.
who have a
yeah,
PS3, an Xbox, an Apple TV, a laptop with an HDMI cable, an Android TV plugins. Shit, this targets about no one.
What? Hardly anyone who doesn't have. Well, okay. Who has Apple TVs? Are there really that many out there? And the thing with
like
the Apple
20
TV,
devices that plug into
even
the
if
TV.
you, well, yeah, you're a technology writer. That's
true.
not exactly the target audience for most devices, though you'd think it by reading technology websites. But, I mean, there are plenty of people out there who don't have anything like this, and, I mean, it's not that surprising anymore to see YouTube on a TV. It used to be like, whoa, you can do that? I remember that in like 2005 when I was in college. It was like a big deal if you managed to get that working. It's a lot easier than that, certainly. But this is
Emulor Lover is
affordable.
saying it's already been hacked. Can someone look that, please? If I look it up, my internet.
Fantastic news. Google doesn't exactly
How has it been hacked?
lock
Google
down
it.
their
Someone
devices
Google it.
hard. I think they want people to hack them, usually.
Has it been hacked? What does it do?
I don't know. I'm sitting right here. Just search for Chromecast hack, James. I'm moving right along.
I can't do it because my internet connection dies whenever I do anything other than this video call right now.
Okay, fine, whatever. Last week, Subbable launched. We talk about it here on the show. Oh, what do you want? I'm not. Oh, you're the worst.
I want you to do my research for me live on air. Do it.
No, I'm moving. Okay. Okay. You have to talk while I'm doing it, though. Otherwise, it's the Justin staring at a laptop show.
Dave, did you look this up already?
the hack
While
thing?
he was
No.
complaining about not doing it? Oh, for God's sake.
Well, see, I was waiting for someone to do whatever. You guys are the best on-air partners.
Yeah, I
I've
posted
asked
a
for.
link. Read that. Read that. Now we got dead air. Well done.
Well, yeah, well, that's because I'm the one who keeps talking. That's why I don't research stuff on air. You can keep talking.
Dave, say
Just
stuff.
talk about something else. Dave,
Give us some
say
nonsense,
stuff.
Dave.
This is compelling shit. You're really...
This week's
Oh,
episode
oh.
is brought to you by Bitdefender Sphere. Protect the unlimited number of PCs, Macs, smartphones, or tablets. Sphere is an all-in-one solution to protect all your devices. Have the #1 ranked antivirus protect your PCs, Mac, Androids, phones, and tablets. If you buy a new device, you're covered because Sphere protects unlimited number of computers, phones, and tablets. Find the link in the post about the show. There. Filled some time.
You
Suck on that shit.
are the man, Dave.
Oh, my goodness.
That was
Okay.
exactly what we needed.
So,
Justin, what
it
did you
turns
find out?
out the bootloader on this thing was open source, so anyone could read the code. So it was hacked in the sense that people read open code and then booted their own stuff with it. So you can't
What does this
do
mean
any...
we can do with it?
It means eventually someone will build software that you can launch on it. Right now, it means you can
what
hack
does it run? What is
I don't-
It, what is it? Does it have? It doesn't have a CPU, does
Oh
it?
my goodness. You should, if you want to ask questions like this, research a few things in advance, or maybe tell me, hey,
Oh,
Listen,
fine,
I'll-
fine. Go on, go on.
I'll
go
review
on.
the thing for
Just
make use
go.
of, and then we'll
yeah,
know
we'll find
all
out more
about it.
later. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm sorry, James. I'm a little tired.
I'm disappointed. I was expecting a more
I was,
in-depth technical discussion here, and you've disappointed me.
CNET gave it a 3 out of 5. Does that help?
Oh dear.
I just don't know, and there's nothing less interesting than we Google shit and read it as we read it. Like, that's just not a good show. So we'll look into this. We'll talk next week about it, James. I promise. I promise.
Right.
You can stream the Netflix and the YouTubes using Android and iOS as a remote.
Yeah, you're doing that thing where you read the things that you Google now.
Yeah, that's not podcasting.
All right.
You're
What
a
was the next one?
podcast?
Pretty awesome.
Shut up.
What's
So,
Subbable?
last week we talked about how
Oh,
the
that
Vlog
thing, yeah.
Brothers launched a service called Subbable, which is kind of like an NPR meets Kickstarter thing. And by that I mean you donate not one time necessarily, but monthly contributions. So people who make videos and other creative content know they can depend on a certain amount of money coming in order to fund making that content. We talked about how Crash Course reached like 30% in one day. Well, yesterday, the internet's favorite fast-talking information spouting machine, CGP Grey, did a Subbable page. He put up a video on his page, and within, I want to say 8 hours, he'd reached 100% of his goal. Now he's over 150% of his goal. So if there's anyone on the internet who deserves to be paid for their work without having to mess around with advertising, it's him. He makes great videos. They're extremely engaging, and they're informative. I always learn a lot from them. And it's pretty obvious that this is going to be the way forward for that kind of content that creates loyalty, that kind of content that advertisers aren't going to necessarily want because it's not going to sell Coke, but it will engage people. It's not going to get the most viewers, but it's going to get the best viewers. And yeah, that's really exciting for me to see. James, tell me why it's crap.
I don't think it's crap. Although you haven't really defined his entire monthly salary here. Does that mean what he would normally earn from the show, or what he normally earns on his real job?
He quit his real job, but he was a teacher in the UK, so it couldn't have been much. But no, he's very. I mean, the service doesn't really show you what people make from it, just percentage of their goal, because YouTube is very. They don't want to reveal what people make from advertising. So I don't know what to make of that, but they won't show totals on the site. It's not about that, it's about how many people donate. Though if you look at the math, how many spots have been filled for various pledges, you can probably kind of figure it out. I didn't do that crunching, sorry. But yeah, pretty cool way forward.
The chat is currently trying to figure out what each of our strengths are.
Justin has a high charisma. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was you, James. Oh, whatever.
James,
yeah, we really.
I think he's
should.
James when he says it's your physical strength.
I
don't know,
research
how
stuff,
can you
and
measure
then
physical
James
strength?
asks me about the one thing I haven't researched, and sits there like, well, why don't you look it up now? And then I'm not going to fill in the dead air because I don't care. Let's move on to the rest of the headlines then. Some college students redirected a yacht using a simple GPS hack. Now, some of you might not be completely familiar with how GPS works, but there's satellites in the sky. No, there are satellites that are put up there initially by the U.S. government. And what happens is, basically, it's all based on time. When you're using a GPS signal, what your device is doing is sending out a signal. Oh, no, it's not sending out a signal. It's receiving a signal that just says what time it is. And because it takes a certain amount of time for the signal to get from the satellite to Earth, you can use the location of the satellite combined with the time that the satellite thought it was when it was broadcasting to figure out how far you are from that given satellite. And if you have 3 of those, because of the way math works, that's enough to know precisely where you are on the surface of the planet.
Magic.
But what if... Or you can say it's magic, but what if you could just send out signals faking what time it is, send out signals faking which satellites were sending them? You could convince a GPS device that it's anywhere on the world you wanted to with just a little bit of math, and that is exactly what these college students did to hijack an $80 million yacht. They were steering it around like it was the toy for them from the University of Austin at Texas.
And yeah. Fun.
Who pays $80 million for a yacht, really?
Have you...
Rich people?
Yeah. It's like a house that floats.
Insane.
It's awesome.
That's what's wrong with the world. Go on. It's a pretty easy hack, really. You just fake GPS and like
you just fake the time signals that it sends out. And
I suppose an $80 million yacht would steer itself automatically, wouldn't it?
That was part of the problem. Yeah, there was no one actually steering the thing. It was all on auto drive or whatever. So that means anyone else can steer it.
I wouldn't trust GPS for that.
You could probably. Well, this is why they're advising. They're saying that something like this happened with that Asiatic. What was the name of the airline? The one that missed the runway. I can't recall. Right. What? It's not Oceania. It had the word Asiana. That's it. Yeah. There was something. It was using GPS landing at the time. So yeah, stop using GPS for everything, guys. It's got flaws. It's got flies too.
Yeah, it's got flies.
It's got flies in the satellite.
Yes, but it's flies.
And oh, this is interesting. Satellite spoofing is believed to be responsible for outage near the London Stock Exchange too. So, James, was that you?
Oh, no, that's because some guy is apparently driving around and like trying to fool his boss so he doesn't know where he is, and every day he goes past the London Stock Exchange, thereby fucking it all up.
What?
Which is hilarious.
He's just following his boss and sending fake GPS signals. Oh, this is going to become more and more common. Oh, it might be really fun. Do you guys
GPS too?
Do you guys ever geocache? Do you know what this is?
Nope.
I don't do it.
Okay. So there are little treasures buried all over. It's great if you're hiking. You just get GPS coordinates, you have to go to it, and then you have to find it. And it's usually like a metal box that's slightly buried or like a plastic thing in a tree, and you can find them in cities too. And then you just there's a book, you can leave a little note. If you brought a little toy, you can leave a toy there and grab another one if you want. So it's fun, but I would be really fun to just mess with people who are doing that outside your window. So I'm sure we'll find stuff like this happening in the future all the time.
If I wanted my front garden dug up, could I just put like a load of geocache coordinates there and say, hey, how about it? Somewhere under there.
Yeah, sure. Just keep digging. You'll find it eventually, kids. Yeah, that might actually work. I don't know. It's like a treasure hunt in real life. I like it.
James, the people
Sometimes the people
what
are
that game in the background is.
Oh,
the green and
that I'll talk about that later.
He's gonna
During
talk
the
about
gaming section.
Dave.
wow, Pierre in the chat says that you are plus 100 to douchebag.
I agree.
Dave.
He's right.
He's right. Okay. And Make Use of Lover says $80 million. I have that in the back of my sofa. Yeah, I don't know why you're surprised by $80 million. That's not that much.
Is that the new Shadowrun, James?
You couldn't even buy 1% of Instagram
Yes,
with that.
it is.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Man, am I fucking good or what?
Yeah, you're pretty good. Twitter is posting fake advertising tweets on behalf of its users. I don't think this is as bad as it sounds, but James, fill me in.
Well, from what I understand, I don't really understand it, but it appears that they posted bogus tweets from other users, and then they used that as advertising, and now they've all been replaced with apparently tweets from Twitter ads employees. But
it was a
I don't
picture.
know. Yeah. Okay.
It was a screenshot, and it included 3 random people
who did not actually post a tweet.
Advertising a fictional company in order to demonstrate how these promoted tweets would work.
But
so
were they famous people or anything? They weren't, were they? They were just randoms.
I don't know who these people are.
It's pretty dirty, anyway.
But it's just a picture. I guess they grabbed 3 random users for the picture, and it was a fake tweet about a fake company, notably. It's not like they said, Nike's awesome. Like, it was a company that doesn't exist called Barista Bar. And
oh, it's not even a real company.
No, it's not a real company. It's not a real ad. They were just demonstrating a potential ad technology, and some real users got mixed into it. They apologized, but yeah. No actual advertising happened here.
So this is a potential ad technology then. They could actually, they are considering actually posting on behalf of other users.
No, they're considering using posts other users write about brands and promoting those because they mention the brand. But no one is considering at Twitter having people who didn't say something. It'd be like the Facebook ads. They're like, so-and-so likes this company, and then there's the ad for the company. It'd be like that. Right? And I don't mind that. Because
okay, this is less news than I thought then.
If you're stupid enough to click the like button under Walmart, then yeah, who cares? Walmart's going to use you to advertise shit because you clicked the like button under a company. You know what I'm saying? So. Oh, everyone is trying to kill Kashi in the chat room, so if you want to join, you should, next week, live at makeuseof.com, come and try to kill Kashi so that we'll finally stop talking about him. Hey, have you been wondering how Prism got its name? Because I am.
I certainly have.
How did it get its name, James?
Yeah, remember we've been talking about how they're going past all the services. They're just hooking straight into the cables. The only problem with that is that if you've got a fiber optic cable and you attempt to read some of it, you're going to slow the whole thing down and you're going to lose bits. So if you're checking one end to the other, you can tell, oh, well, hang on a minute, someone's been messing with this. But it turns out, in fact, they're probably using something. Well, they're using a prism, which you would normally use to split light into different colors. They can use it to split light into 2 different light beams. And then it's like a train track. They can take one of them.
So they just intercept the whole freaking signal, and then
they split it so that they've got a copy and they can keep reading what they like of the copy without interrupting the mainstream. And that's what the Prism does, and hence why it's got its name. It's pretty fascinating, really. Wow. Terrifying. I mean,
they put some thought into
fascinating.
This. They really put some thought into this. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's I like the brand. They've got good branding going. I just wish that they focused more on design. I think it really could have made the difference. I think if you pitch this properly, I think if you had like a blue and white color scheme kind of a thing going, like a nice friendly font at the top, and just be like, give us all your personal information and we'll tell your friends about it. People would have been really into it. Just don't mention that you're the government, right? Would have been fine. I seriously, if they just hired a Silicon Valley PR team, this whole controversy wouldn't have happened. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm sticking to. Woe is Microsoft, their long quest to try to get anybody to make apps for their platform, keeps hitting roadblocks. And the most recent one is that Instagram is blocking the only Windows Phone client for that service. And they deleted, to add insult to injury, uploads made using that app. So if you've been taking some cool Instagram photos with your Windows Phone, yeah, those are gone now.
Yeah,
Sucks.
it's an app called Instance, and it appears to be blocked now. They actually reversed the API. They reverse engineered it so that they could upload without Instagram's permission. For some reason, Instagram doesn't have a Windows Phone app. I don't know why they're so resolute against this, but they've been
they can't be resolutely against it, but it costs money to develop an app. I don't know why they wouldn't allow
I don't know.
a
I'm not
third-party
buying it,
service.
But it's weird because the application uploads and then you can see them on Instagram's website, and then a couple of seconds later the photos disappear and the URLs don't work anymore, which is pretty hilarious.
They probably want people to work through their API, and however this app works probably doesn't fit with their long-term monetization strategy, right? They probably want to put
they don't have their own API.
What? Instagram doesn't have an API?
Well, if they're having to reverse engineer it just to be able to use this, I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
It sounds like they don't have one. Yeah.
Who knows? Well, Microsoft, you got to get more people to use your phone, and then Instagram will just make their own app for it. That's the trick. But I guess no one's going to use the phone until there's an Instagram app. So what I'm saying is you're screwed. Which brings me to Ubuntu. We might as well talk about this now. They've got a fundraising campaign. It's already broken records to try to raise enough money for a Ubuntu phone. I don't know who these people are donating $3 million in 3 days, but it's happening. The concept's intriguing. I am a longtime fan of Ubuntu in that I love Linux, and it's been my favorite way to use Linux since 2005. But the company, Canonical, that funds it, basically, has been looking for a way to monetize it forever. They've basically just built this cool thing and let people use it for free, and that hasn't been working. They wanted to do the Red Hat thing where they charge companies that use it for support. That hasn't been working out. So I feel bad for them. They've been trying to make money off this for a long time. Mark Shuttleworth from South Africa is the founder, and it's been largely his money that's been funding it until this point, the Ubuntu project. It was a takeoff of Debian, and now they've been trying to get onto every platform conceivable. They've announced Ubuntu TV, they've announced Ubuntu tablets, which aren't, like, none of these are on the market yet. So now they're doing the crowdfunding route. They're really trying to push a Ubuntu phone, and the gimmick here, and Dave will tell you, James will break this down a little more, we talked about Ubuntu for Android before, and it was something where you'd have a regular Android phone, but then you plug it into a dock with a monitor and a screen, and then you'd have a full-blown Ubuntu desktop that can also run your Android apps. That was a cool idea that got a lot of people excited. This is that without the Android. They're building their own mobile phone platform, and then it'll run the Ubuntu desktop. So, James, your take?
Doesn't it dual boot Android as well, I read?
Oh, probably. I mean, there's no reason why not to.
It's like Android or Ubuntu Mobile, and then once you plug it in the thingy, it's Ubuntu.
Yeah. So people are excited about it.
Ubuntu runs like crap anyway, even on modern hardware. I don't see why it's going to do any well on this.
Really? I think on my Ubuntu outperformed Windows on most of my low-end computers, and it runs very well on my MacBook. I don't.
Last time I tried it, it was atrocious. It was just.
What were you trying it on? I mean, sometimes it'll run atrocious until you install the correct video drivers, and then away you go. So, but. I mean, that's the thing. It's not a friendly automated system. But if you install Windows without your video drivers, yeah, it runs like shit too. So, I don't know. Maybe it is just as bad as you think.
Well,
but
I just don't think we need another mobile OS. I don't know why everyone is like, oh, more options in the mobile space. That'll really help us. Yeah, because that did us a lot of good with BlackBerry and Windows Phone. That's really helping the equation there.
Well, it's giving developers another thing to look at. I mean, this is my problem. Microsoft, which Ubuntu's been struggling to compete with since its inception, basically, has been trying to enter the phone sphere, and they can't manage it. They can't get in. Now, what I'm saying sounds exactly to what crazy people said Apple couldn't. Like, Apple can't make a phone. Microsoft hasn't managed to make a phone, so that's impossible. So I see the fallacy there. But if Microsoft is throwing millions of dollars into advertisements for their tablets and phones and just utterly failing to break into the market, I don't know what Ubuntu's going to do with a hybrid phone desktop operating system. I just don't know that there's much demand for that.
But do you really think they're going to make $32 million in funding? That's a lot of money.
Nope.
You know what? I am convinced that Mark Shuttleworth will donate a huge chunk at the last minute if it doesn't raise it organically. There's no way he's going to let that
$7,500,000. So I mean,
there's no way he's going to let that $7 million just disappear. I bet you Shuttleworth donates the rest if it doesn't.
Why doesn't he just do that anyway then? This is just a big PR stunt, basically.
Well, he wants to get as much as he can.
Yeah, get as much external as you can.
Mm.
The less he has to throw out of his pocket, the better. I mean, that's a lot of money.
I don't know why anyone thinks you can make money off a free operating system. The very idea is absurd.
Everyone keeps killing Kashi in the chat room, and then he reboots. We'll see. I mean, I would like to see what they do with this. I haven't seen many design concepts about Ubuntu Phone that wow me. I mean, it's pretty. If you like purple as a color scheme, I guess it's pretty cool.
They do like purple.
Well, they've got that corner of the market then.
The typography's nice. I just haven't seen any apps really for it.
That's always sold a phone. The typography's nice.
Yeah, that's worked for Windows, right? Yeah. Oh, why not? Let's go ahead and talk Bitcoin now, because Kashi is continually being killed in the chat room. I think the one thing that can revive him is us talking about his favorite virtual currency. Bitcoin tried to go legal in Thailand. They gave a presentation to the Thai government, and the Thai government responded by saying, wait, this isn't good, and banned the protocol outright. Now, this is kind of like banning email. Anyone who wants to use Bitcoin still will, but it's a huge hurdle for anyone who wants to use Bitcoin in, say, a store. Anyone wants to use Bitcoin to sell stuff online legitimately. In Thailand now, that's going to be illegal until they can write laws to properly regulate the technology.
Well, it means they won't be able to exchange for Thai money either, surely.
Through official channels, probably, yeah.
Hmm.
Though, in most of Southeast Asia, the US dollar is an unofficial second currency, isn't it?
Where I've ever been, but I haven't been around Southeast Asia, so.
Okay.
You're the one who's been
Let's
there,
get to the most important story then. Russia wants to ban swearing from the internet. Dave, I'm turning this over to you.
Fuck them.
What do you have to say to those who would?
I think James summed up my thoughts.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
They say it's not about censorship. It's about making the internet a more civil place to live. No one should have
so this and the fact that
online
they
video games
banned
would
being
probably
gay.
be a lot more pleasant if you ban swearing.
Russia's
Imagine being able to play like
turning
Call of
into
Duty
a
without
real-
everybody being like, "Yo, you're a fucking noob scrub. I hate you." Blah blah blah. You know, they'd have to be like, "You're a noob scrub. I hate you," but they wouldn't be able to say the fucking part, which would make it a little nicer. You know, I wouldn't.
It might make it more pleasant. So then you just get kicked off. You just get kicked off the internet if you swear at someone. Maybe
them off.
A little more nice. Yeah.
Get off my internet, bitches.
Is Russia genuinely making progress on anything, or have they just devolved like 100 years? Because that's what it seems like it is right now.
I think.
I mean, what a disgusting country to exist at the moment.
Well, that's racist.
Of course, it's racist.
That's
the whole
the difference
country
between the country
is
and
being
the government.
gay.
Man. No,
It's illegal to hold the hand of a dude. What the hell kind of a country is that?
The economy is built up on kleptocracy, and they need to desperately distract the people from the fact that the country's being mismanaged. And when that happens, it doesn't matter if your name is George W. Bush or Putin, you focus on social issues that have a populist backing behind them. So a lot of people in Russia don't think gay marriage should be a thing and that gays shouldn't be allowed to be together socially. So if you say that, it distracts them. If you say that, then people who disagree with them talk loudly about that issue instead of the fact that Putin and his cronies are extracting wealth from the country as quickly as possible in order to enrich themselves. People aren't saying that, and they're talking about the social issues instead. It's the same thing here. It's a smoke and mirrors tactic. That's what it's about. The internet thing isn't really what they care about. What they care about is that we talk about it instead of the fact that they're using corruption in order to enrich themselves to the detriment of everyone who lives in that country. That's what it's about.
A real word? Kleptocracy?
Yeah. Yeah, it means a government
Meaning people
focused primarily
steal.
on stealing. Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. I learned a good word today.
There
Thank
you
you.
go. We should have a word of the day every week. Kleptocracy. No, that's what it's about, though, James. And I think if you were to talk to the average person in Moscow, they more or less know that. But it doesn't make it any less infuriating.
Still think we should ban the Olympics from going there.
Oh, well, it's the Winter Olympics, too, so it's like figure skating. So there's no chance any of them are gay, right? Yeah, I don't think it's going to come up as an issue. No. What I didn't realize about the Winter Olympics, which are in Sochi next year, I thought, oh, Sochi, Russia, it's somewhere north. And no, it's on the Black Sea. Like, there's palm trees growing there. Why do they have the Winter Olympics? I'm so confused about why this is happening.
Well, who says the Winter Olympics have to be at a wintry place?
It helps. I guess they have mountains and there's snow up in the mountains, but people have to drive, like, 4 hours or something to get to them, so...
I don't think they care how far people have to drive.
I think the athletes probably care somewhat.
They get shuttled in.
It's okay, whatever. Yeah, I'm not an Olympic athlete, but I think that might throw me off somewhat. Maybe they have a second
as an
village over
Olympic
there.
athlete, I can tell you that it's.
Oh, you're an Olympic athlete. Okay. Are you like
Yeah.
a professional StarCraft player? Or?
I suck at StarCraft.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Here's kind of a cool story from Japan. Toyota, the car company, is donating their efficiency and expertise to the New York Food Kitchen. Not in lieu of money, but they just wanted to supplement it. And apparently it's working. It's like a cross-cultural exchange. They just really taught this food kitchen in New York, which is one of the biggest in the country, America, how to really make food efficiently and distribute it to people efficiently and give it out in such a way that people don't feel frustrated and waiting. So, James, I just thought you lived in Japan. Does this resonate with you in any way? Does it seem like a good idea, this kind of cross-cultural pollination?
I don't really understand the story.
Okay, you can just skip it. Did you? No, I thought it was cool. I mean, companies donate.
Sorry, I was chatting in the chat room, completely ignoring the show.
Oh goodness, you can't.
What's this?
do that.
They're giving money? What?
No, Toyota, which is one of the most Japanese companies on the planet, I think I can say, right? They're donating efficiency, basically, with training on how to run the soup kitchen more efficiently to the company instead of just giving money. They're sending people from Toyota's headquarters in Tokyo over there to teach them how to do it. And it's helped. At first, the people who run the soup kitchen were extremely hesitant that this would be helpful at all, but the Japanese-style business management really helped run things. So, yeah. I just thought you might find.
Well, it's like teaching someone how to fish rather than just giving them a fish, huh?
Yeah, exactly. It's just making the soup kitchen more efficient, which means everyone else's donations to the companies have a bigger impact. So I thought it was cool. Yeah. Oh, so here's some more news.
That should actually be done everywhere, all across all levels of government.
Well, this isn't a government thing. This is
let Toyota run
not-for-profit. Just let Toyota run it. Well, I don't know. A recent recall.
No, that's what we should do. We should get a bunch of
everything. You know, in America, though, it would probably end up being Halliburton instead of... I don't know if I like that. So, enough about my country. Let's talk about your country, James. Your prime minister, his preferred porn blocking software, which he has praised as being highly effective, turns out it's from the controversial Chinese company behind, arguably, the Great Firewall of China, which... I guess if you want to do internet effectively, you gotta ask the Chinese for help. They're better at it than everyone else. So,
and it doesn't just block porn either. It actually blocks a whole lot of stuff.
Like human rights advocacy, I'm sure.
Well, amongst other things, yeah. It's a long list of things that are disabled by default, and you can't get onto them.
We had a great conversation about this on Facebook. I don't know if everyone saw it. In which Dave basically accused all Americans of hating, what is it? Chinese, communists in general, really. Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Check that out on Facebook. It's totally worth looking at. I guess, yeah. I'm really off my game. Sorry. I have to say, I did trivia last night at a bar not far from here, and we were in first place going into the last question, and we blew it, and I'm just off.
What was the question? What was the question?
Well, no, it was 10 questions, so I don't know what specifically threw us off. But
A pub quiz with 10 questions? That's quite small.
well, no, there was 9 rounds with like 10 questions each, and we were in first going into the 9th round, and I'm just off my game because I was so close, and then we came in 4th instead, and now I feel so small.
What was the prize gonna be?
I don't even know. The people I went with, they'd never been close to winning before, so they didn't even know what the prize was.
Oh my god, you're useless. You don't even know the prize. Who cares
I'm
if you
assuming it was free beer or something. I don't know.
I bet you it was like something stupid like a urinal cake. A used urinal cake.
Okay, so the censorship increasingly looks like it's going forward. But one ISP in the UK is saying, no, we're not going to do that. It's Andrews and Arnold says that for porn blocking, you'll have to pick a different ISP or move to North Korea. James, is this your ISP? And if not, why not?
I have never heard of this company. I don't. I think they're probably some specialized business thing. I'm not. This certainly isn't something that you get at home.
Communism made the modern world, Dave. Well, there's some interesting inputs there. Communism was definitely a positive force in a lot of discussions. But it sucked at running countries. Just saying. Well, what else? So you've never heard of this company? Well, they obviously are putting this statement out just to get attention, so by putting this in the outline, you've now given them that attention, so I think the circle is complete here.
I didn't put it there.
Oh. I didn't. Dave, did you put a story in the outline?
Me? No, never. I wouldn't do that.
Well, how did this get here?
The ghost.
I didn't.
Are some of
Never
our
heard of it.
What's going on? Are some of our guests just adding stuff?
No, just kidding. That was me.
I'm like Tyler from Abbott RPG is probably just adding stories here every day.
I just thought that was interesting that one of the ISPs is like, screw you, we're going to let people watch porn.
Tyler, by the way, I was talking with him the other day. He loves you guys. He loves the Technophiliacs. He wants to hang out again sometime, so I told him we'll probably do that. So.
Oh my god, the prices of this ISP are unbelievable.
Well,
1 gigabyte a month is like 20 quid. Data.
How much is a quid?
Oh my god, $40 for 1 gigabyte a month. That is unbelievable. What the hell is this? No, screw this. This is not a... Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can watch porn on it.
That is madness.
But I think we'll see if other companies stand up to this. I think most large ISPs don't want to lose the regulatory advantages they have, and as such will do what they're told by the government. We'll see.
At 20 quid for 1 gigabyte, it would be cheaper to buy porn on DVD, Dave.
So the Pirate Bay is learning that pirates don't like to pay for things. They want to throw a huge party for all their users somewhere in Stockholm, Sweden, I think they're based, right? So they've been raising money on it's kind of like an Kickstarter type thing. And they had a pretty ambitious goal set up. It didn't reach it, so they brought it down, and they can't reach their new lower goal now. For some reason, people who are enthusiastic about the Pirate Bay and want to attend a party don't feel like paying for it. I can't imagine why people with a predisposition to liking the Pirate Bay would not want to pay for things. I can't figure this. I can't make heads or tails of this, James. I don't know. I
think it's a bloody expensive party, if you ask me. I could host one for much less than that.
Well, that's true, but it's just going to be you and your wife and some chickens in the backyard with a couple of people, maybe some homemade beer. Yeah, it'll be cheaper, but it probably isn't what they're going for. Yeah.
I've got a little tiny swimming pool. We can chill there. It's more like a paddling pool.
I would legitimately prefer that party to the one they're describing here. But there's tons of musicians that have come in. Actually, here's an interesting fact. More musicians have said they will play this party than people have donated to their campaign to fund it. So, yeah. But that's okay. The Pirate Bay doesn't need to pay musicians, do they? I mean, they just get promotional exposure from being at the party. And that, in and of itself, is enough reward for them to, yeah. So I don't think they have to worry about paying their musicians. They're the Pirate Bay. That's fine. Let's move on to the gaming news then. The part of the show where Dave says stuff. James, I'm assuming you put this here?
Yeah, because it managed to reach like a ton of major... Apparently there was a big space battle in EVE Online. I kid you not, this was being reported everywhere, even made the front page of the BBC. I'll read you a riveting quote from The Verge here. Update, 4:49 p.m. ET. Though the battle is raging on slowly, some of the tactics being employed have emerged. The Test Alliance is attempting to jam CFC's targeting capabilities in order to cripple the CFC's logistics, its ability to heal friendly units. It will still be some time before the balance of power becomes clear. Seriously,
Dude, EVE Online is a big deal, man.
No, I'm sorry, I'm not buying this. I don't know why.
So wait, are these like professional gamers that we're playing?
EVE is like EVE is terrifying. It's like the scariest thing on the planet. It's an MMORPG, but it's like people the time that people invest in it, it basically takes over their. It's like WoW, but it taken to like 10 notches up in terms of like life investment. So as battle like this happens, you're talking like people's thousands of hours of planning and
thousands of dollars worth of spaceships as well, but not real.
Yeah, and money, real money. So that's why it's kind of a big deal. And then to have a battle this big, it never really happens. Usually it's like smaller companies fighting each other, but to have this giant ass battle like this, it is kind of a big deal for the game.
I mean, come on, are we going to start
use of Lover? Could I please have some cucumber sandwiches? That would be lovely.
We're going to see the next World of Warcraft like clan battles. BBC. No, thank you. Seriously.
No, but a World of Warcraft battle.
You know what's going to happen next, James? I bet you the BBC will start reporting on people playing cricket. Or maybe like the CBC here in Canada will start reporting on people playing ice hockey as though this is some huge thing.
It seems no
I bet you
different.
newspapers might devote complete sections to covering like sports. That would be just... People enjoy reading about stuff that they can assign a narrative to, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, James. This has captured the public imagination. I mean, you don't like sport, that's fine, but as we go forward, video games are going to become a new kind of sport. It's a skill set people have. And when
I guarantee you next week you're going to see articles in the newspaper about, which is the Dota tournament that starts on the 3rd. It's the biggest video game tournament in the world. It has almost a $3 million prize pool. You're going to hear about that shit in the newspaper. It's going to happen.
Do you honestly think this is a good thing where we start making out like computer games are a big deal and putting them in the way of other news that might be more important?
Do you honestly think it's a good idea that we start reporting on sports like it's a big deal and putting it in the way of other news? Like it's
No, I never have said it's been. It's not.
Like,
but if you think,
I wish to
about
God
how much in the news, they have plenty of time to fill.
I don't think sports is bullshit, though. I think it's healthy for people to cheer for sports teams, and I think it gives you a sense of regional loyalty, and I think some of those benefits could... I'm on the side of... I think it's fine for people to enjoy watching people do things that they're good at. I think it's inspiring.
And it's just kind of an interesting story. It's something that's like reading. They're like, what the hell? 2,900 ships were destroyed.
I mean, seriously,
today in combat
if you want to complain about some vapid shit taking up too much precedent in the British press, I might point to a particular human being who emerged from another particular human being in the past week that garnered way more coverage than this. Yeah, I mean, but that's just celebrity nonsense, and there's not. But again, people like it because they can put a narrative to it.
That's it. I'm going to write a letter.
About the baby?
Both of them, damn it.
What if the baby
real
was
news?
No, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. You're reading this on the internet. The BBC puts out thousands of articles every day, and if you're in a decent RSS reader, you can press J or K to switch from one story to the next. So when you see a story you don't find useful, press J, and it goes away.
I want it censored.
No, that's stupid.
We should not be publishing this.
Why should we be using precious bandwidth for people to talk about technology for an hour? It's such a waste of the internet, and I just want
the moral fiber of England.
Did you guys look in the comments section on the Verge article?
Good guys
it's
win.
Funny.
What? Looked at the what?
The comment section. It's people posting like all the pictures from the South Park episode where they all get addicted to WoW.
That is my favorite.
Cartman pooping into a bucket while his mom holds it because he can't stop playing.
Combat that is fake,
Thank you for
but
that,
the emotions are real. Great headline, The Verge. See, this is I think Make Use Of needs to get into this kind of stuff. I think they could have. Look at the stats on this article, man. This stuff works.
Technophilia
Okay,
answers.
come on. Why don't you
Good
start
people
reporting
like
on esports
sports.
more?
On esports, I will become the esports editor for Make Use Of. That's my aspiration. Are you listening, Ibeck? I want to be the esports editor. You got that? Yeah.
I
Ibeck
think
doesn't watch
I
the
think
show.
You
Koshi just
might
asked me if
be
I'm
really good
entering
at
the
it.
international. He said, "Are you entering, Dave?" I assume he's referring to the international. No, the international is an invite-only tournament played by the best players in the world, and I most certainly am not that.
Oh, so we've got a point here. Make Use Of lover. You have just revealed yourself as being American because you said cricket is better than soccer. Discuss. I mean, if you weren't American, you'd say football, right?
I
So-
think I actually know who MUO Lover is, but
Yeah?
I think it's a guy that I played Dota with who I told to listen to the podcast. But
Oh.
and he also, and then the guy who I think it is also just asked me if I'm feeling ill
because you look-
in a Steam chat. So I think it might be Daniel Chadwick
Ooh, I've seen
or
him.
Jack
I've seen him on Make Use Of.
Turner. I'm not
Okay,
quite sure though.
okay. Anyways, cricket. I'm not going to say better than soccer because soccer, or football, as it's more properly referred to, is a phenomenal sport. But cricket's way better than baseball. I'll say that. We played it. So Kathy is a physicist. I've told you this. They've got a tradition called the Gilla Cup within their lab, where different groups challenge each other to random sports in order to claim ownership of the cup. And my wife's group, Captain Murnane, has had this cup for a long time now, and everyone's trying to take it away. So there was one group that had one Indian guy, I think, on staff, so they just decided, hey, we've got an Indian guy, we can do cricket and we'll win. So they challenged Kathy's group in cricket, but then Kathy's group started practicing cricket once a week for like months until they got pretty good at it, and then we went to the game and I got to watch. And just watching it, it's way more fun than baseball. It feels like everyone can improvise more. I think it's a better game. I'm just gonna say
I don't
that.
understand it at all. It looks really complicated.
It's pretty simple once you get into the flow of it. And when you think about it, baseball is pretty complicated.
It's boring enough to play cricket, let alone watch it.
Yeah, I don't understand watching baseball or cricket on TV. I will say that. But, people like it.
I like watching Jess's softball games, but that's because I know her. I don't think I could just
You know,
watch
the only time I
them.
ever got a detention in secondary school was for refusing to play cricket.
Refusing to play cricket. Why?
Seriously, I was just like, this is fucking stupid. Why? Only morons play cricket. And my games teacher was like, that's it, detention. And I said, screw you. And he said, double detention.
Well, you call it games. That's so much more honest than what we call it. It's physical education here.
Oh yeah, that's a separate lesson. This was games.
Oh, you have something that's just games. That's fun.
Yeah, it's yeah.
I always just called
It's
it
not that
gym.
good. It's like rugby and cricket.
You always just called it what?
Gym.
Gym. Yeah. It was one thing.
Is that actually in a gym, though?
It doesn't
It wasn't
matter.
always in a gym. I just called it gym anyway.
Yeah, whatever. Let's talk Phil Fish, shall we, Dave? I'm sure you.
Phil Fish.
Phil
Are you guys familiar
Fish.
with Phil Fish?
I'm familiar with the game Fez. I haven't played it yet, but it was much hyped. It's a side scroller that takes place in 3 dimensions, right?
Yeah, and
hear
Phil
he was a
Fish,
bit of a dumbass.
They made a movie, Indie Game the Movie.
Yeah, and he was one of the main guys in Indie Game, the movie.
Yeah, and he's kind of like a crazy like a crazy asshole, that guy.
Mhm.
So it turns out, yeah, he's still a crazy asshole, and he had a big crazy hissy fit, and he canceled Fez, and he says he's retiring from.
No,
the video
he's
game
canceled
industry.
Fez too. So what happened is, the media has been contacting him since this movie whenever they have questions about how the indie industry works, because they figure, well, Phil Fish, he was in Indie Game the movie, he's the guy we should talk to. He got sick of it, he told them not to call him anymore, and there was something, it's complicated, but there was...
Didn't he just get into an argument on Twitter, and then that was like the last straw? And
well,
he's just like,
an
"Oh, I
annoyed
give up."
gamer in a podcast much like this, where people who don't know what they're talking about just rant in order to get attention. We're assholes. No, so annoyed gamer said, "Now I'm an asshole, but I own that, right? I don't know if it's annoyed gamer or irate gamer or whatever. He just angry gamer. He's some kind of title like that. He was on a podcast. I really.
I'm pretty sure it's Annoyed Gamer. He was
Annoyed
on a
Gamer?
podcast last week that I listened to.
Yeah, and he just started
Annoyed,
talking crap about Phil Fish, saying, like, if people think that you're a good person to talk to, you should talk to them and you should be thankful because it's bringing attention to your games and your art. And Phil Fish called him an asshole and a bunch of this. And then Phil Fish got into an argument with the Annoyed Gamer on Twitter, and this apparently worked him up so much that he says he's canceling Fez 2. Now, Fez 2's only been announced for like a month. Like it's
yeah, I doubt he was that far into it, especially with how long it took him to actually make Fez 1.
I also highly doubt he's not going to make the game, because these guys who make indie games, they make the games because they like making games, and at some point he's going to want to do it again. So I think it's just a momentarily thing.
But the question is though, is with all the nonsense that's Phil Fish has been involved in his career, now are people gonna just be like, fuck this guy, I'm done with him?
No, here's the thing. Very few people actually listen to podcasts like this one or read gaming news. Most people are just going to be like, oh, there's a sequel to Fez. Cool.
But I mean, this was even on Forbes magazine or Forbes.
No, that's true. Well, that's true, but the fact of it, I mean, to me, it's about the game. And if the game's good, I think people will buy it. I just don't think it's going to affect sales all that much. If nothing else, it's bringing it into the public consciousness more.
I hope he changes his mind, because Fez was good, and I'm sure Fez 2 will also be good.
That one, but it's on PC now, isn't it? I should look that up on Steam or something. But there's no.
Yeah, it's on. I believe it's on Steam. I think it was actually on sale during the summer sale, and you probably missed it.
Oh.
But it's only $10 on Steam anyway, though. It's not.
Yeah, I should look. It just looks good. I would like it on my TV if I. Oh, but there's a PC. Yeah, I should just grab it. Because it does look pretty awesome, but I've got a bunch of games I'm playing right now, so I don't need. But anyway, I will eventually. I don't. The nice thing about working for a major studio is this kind of backroom drama amongst the people who make the games happens in a back room instead of on the internet. If you're an indie gamer, well, no, I'm serious. Like, he would just be yelling at his boss, right, and it wouldn't ever get out. Because he's like an indie guy, and he doesn't have a PR team or anyone saying, hey, you really shouldn't get into random arguments on Twitter with assholes who, like, use Annoyed as their name. Like how's that going to result in anything constructive? Just don't get into it, right? So, I like indie games. I really, really do. And Fez looked amazing. And if you say it's good, Dave, I'm sure it is, because you don't like anything that's crap. And if James liked it, I'd be hesitant, right? But you and I think, have similar sentiments when it comes to these sorts of games. So yeah, anyways,
you like shit games.
Yeah, we love shit games, asshole.
Whatever.
Die in a fire. Speaking of people who hate games, Australia has rejected Saints Row 4. Wait, Australia can do that? Dave, what's going on here?
Yeah, Australia's like. Apparently, I've been reading up on this lately. They are like the strictest review board for video games. They've rejected all the GTA games, previous Saints Row. So rejecting Saints Row 4 is no surprise, but just doesn't. Why is Australia?
Carmageddon. That was banned.
Why are they so strict? I don't get it. What is it about Australia that they hate any kind of game with like drug use or violence or anything? I don't understand.
Well, we did give them all our criminals before, so maybe they're just rejecting on the basis they will regress into criminal behavior.
Yeah,
I just put this in here so James
they're genetically a nation of criminals, and if they just see a bit of crime on the screen, it's gonna click. And
we need to have
Australia will just devolve.
Why does Australia hate video games?
Yeah, we should. Why haven't we had Jackson on the show? So Jackson, if you don't know, was basically why we're on Make Use of now. He's the man. He's the cool guy.
He said he wants us to go through everybody else first.
He wants
to
what?
He'll be the last guest.
He wants us to go through everyone else?
Everyone else who volunteered, and then he said he'll be the last one because he doesn't really want to do it very much.
And what I'm really excited about is having Ibec on the show, because I wanna learn the history of Make Use of and how we got to this point. So I'm looking forward to that one quite a bit. Jackson's going to be a great guest. We got some great guests coming up, but I'm really glad that we could just be together like this week.
Speaking of which, I got a response from those the Game Chasers, so we'll be having them on soon.
We're gonna have the Game Chasers on from YouTube.
So
who what? They're retro video game collectors.
Who they have a show. It's kind of like I don't know. James probably wouldn't know American Pickers, but it's the show where two dudes go around and go through people's old shit and buy it and flip it. They do the same stuff, but not the flipping part. But they do it with video games.
So they're basically your personal heroes, Dave.
God, isn't one old video game collector enough?
Well, these guys do it on a slightly more professional level than I do. You should actually watch their show. Like, I mean, I know you don't care about the games, but the quality of their show is just like, it's like, man, how are these guys not on TV?
So they're going to be on the show soon. That's awesome.
Probably in
That's
like,
gonna be fun.
I'm gonna say like 2 or 3 weeks we'll have them on, so that should be fun.
So next week I'm going to be out of town. I'm hoping to still do the show, but I'm going to need someone else to host, and Dave has generously offered to step up on that. So next week I'm going to be here, but I'm not going to be familiar with the stories. I'm just going to say random funny crap, and Dave's going to have to be informed. It's going to be a real reversal.
You got some big shoes to fill. The random funny crap thing is harder than you think.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't say anything funny the whole show. I just
No, you
I'm
don't.
straight-laced. Yeah. Jackass. Let's get on to listener feedback, the part of the show where we just read stuff you said to us because broadcasting. It's fun. Here you go, James. You can try this with your Oculus Rift. It's a penis-powered game. What? Why are we reading? What?
Dog, I took what's on the Facebook.
I can tell you all about it.
And I put it on the outline.
It's a game called Custom Made 3D. It's one of these typical Japanese games where you dress up a girl and do what you like with her. And it has a special controller with it, which reads your motions when you're using it.
Damn it, Japan! What the hell, guys?
And they just released an alpha patch which turns it Rift compatible.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
But the game costs like $200, so I'm fucked if I'm going to try it. I'm going to contact them, see if I can get one for review.
Okay.
Yeah, put that. I'm sure Jackson would love to have that reviewed. Right.
And Kashi, moving right along, wants to know our thoughts on the NVIDIA Shield. Now, we talked about this on the show, didn't we? The NVIDIA Shield. It's NVIDIA's attempt to make a games console, but it streams games from a PC using an NVIDIA card, of course, to a handheld device, is what I believe was up with it, right?
Yep, we talked about this before.
Mine will be at my house on 8/2/2013.
You pre-ordered one.
Yes.
So you can find out 8/2. That's like a week from now, isn't it?
No, it's like 3 days from now.
Yeah. Crap. So you'll find out all about the NVIDIA Shield next week. You'll probably get an on-air demo.
And then the review will be posted on Make Use Of probably by the 10th-ish.
Are you keeping this thing, or is it going to be given
Nah,
away?
I was going to, but it's expensive. It's $300.
So it'll be given away to a random Make Use Of listener. So Kashi, you could tell us what you think.
Depends if it's any good, then he'll keep it.
However, I'll say quickly that I think it looks freaking awesome, so I'm going to be really disappointed if it's not, because it looks really cool. And its promises sound really cool. So don't let me down, NVIDIA, or I'm going to be pissed off, and I'm going to make sure you know it in the review that I write about your thingy that you're selling to people.
So you heard it, NVIDIA. If you've got any last-second improvements you want to make in order to make James happy, now's the time, because you're sending this thing to him in 2 days.
Yeah, like if you want, it's already in
Hey.
transit, so I'm not sure how you're going to do that. But you could just call FedEx and like ride in the truck with FedEx and make it better.
So Make Use Of Lover has a suggested title here, Oculus Stiffed. Nice.
Oculus Dicks.
No, you see, he had one that's subtle, and you just made it not subtle.
That's right. Go straight
Oh
balls
my
to the wall.
goodness. Ah.
James hates games. He does hate games.
We already named an episode.
Hey, so
James
yeah,
Hates
I've been
Games.
playing Shadowrun.
Shadowrun. How do you
God,
like it?
how
We
impressive
can
is
call the
that I
episode
knew what
Shadowrun, 'cause
game
it's
that was
awesome.
just from looking at your screen? I am good.
Yeah, I
How
don't know
do you
how
like
high
it?
res my screen is right now, but
Did you kickstart that thing?
it's
or
pretty
did you
cool. It was
buy
Kickstarter. I didn't actually. I read it was released, and I was like, actually, that looks kind of cool. I mean, I'm not really a big Shadowrun fan or anything, but I quite like Cyberpunk, and I quite like old school RPGs. It's a lot like the old Fallout series, you know, where you get turn-based combat, action points, all that jazz.
It's a lot like the old Shadowrun game. That it's
No, a lot like the old Fallout. I said Fallout games.
yes, but it's
Remember,
also like
Fallout.
the old Shadowrun game that came before.
I don't
You
know what the
know.
old Shadowrun game is.
It's what you're playing right now, a Super Nintendo game.
What? What's the old Shadowrun game?
It's the game you're playing basically, but on Super Nintendo.
Oh, well, I didn't have a Super Nintendo, so I wouldn't know.
I know, because you apparently hate Super Nintendo, but yet you just admitted to liking a game.
I
that's
seriously doubt
of-
they got that running on a Super
No, but it's the same exact type of game, same type of action RPG.
Nintendo.
Came out in 1993.
What came out? I'm not even listening. Jackson's like,
Shadowrun, the
trying
original.
to
Shadow.
chat with us.
There's
while
a
we're
good
on the
range of
show.
character choices. There's lots of different skills and stuff.
So it's an
Oh, that's
RPG.
annoying.
Cool.
It's kind of like a isometric, right? It's like a Diablo type perspective, three quarters view above the head, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, James? I'm asking you as the one who played it. I hear you speak. I see you speak.
It's the same as the old
sound.
Fallout games, yeah. Yeah, sorry, yeah. Exactly the same as that, yeah.
Okay.
It's a little bit linear.
Linear's good though. I don't know.
It's a
When
little bit linear.
role playing games
It's
try to
not
be
like-
non-linear, the result is they don't really have
Yeah,
much
it's-
of a story. And you know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, I mean, there's definitely a place for linear games.
Skyrim disagrees with that.
Well, Skyrim's pretty cool, but it's not. You
What?
don't feel
Pretty cool? Get out of my
I'd
house.
never really thought the story
No,
in
it's-
Skyrim was that compelling, though.
But that's what I'm
good.
saying, and if you can't make a super compelling story if it's
Yeah.
an open world. Like it's a balance you have to make.
And
But
Shadowrun does have quite a
Skyrim's
compelling
great.
story.
Story's not the main strength of the game. You know?
I almost bought the Shadowrun game when it was still on pre-order when you can get it for like $17. Now it's $20.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
Well, no, it's a perfectly acceptable price. I just don't know if I want to pay $20 for it.
Anyone in the comments at all have anything else you want us to talk about besides Vpool, you seem very interested in my Mario plush. You're concerned it's not going to be on the show next week. Now this is a one-time thing. Maybe he'll show up later, maybe not. There needs to be a reason. Maybe there'll be other plushes. You don't know. This could go any way you want. James is having some kind of delay thing. That's true. He's on his phone. His internet's down today. So yeah.
Yep,
Well,
fucking
who's
Virgin
Google?
Media again.
Chatting me.
It's Jackson. He's talking to us while we're broadcasting. So whatever. It's fun. Jackson, come on the show right now. Let's invite
Yeah,
him.
Jackson, make a quick appearance. Let's invite him. I'm gonna invite him and let's see what happens.
Okay, do it.
I don't know how to invite people. I lied.
Yeah, I don't know either. I've got you guys on my TV over here. Let me
God,
see.
James.
Hey,
how
some
do
other
I...
news while you're doing that.
Okay.
Turns out
Oh, I
Microsoft
don't know how.
spent more on advertising for the Surface than it actually made selling the damn
Well,
thing.
yeah, they spent like $1 billion advertising Windows 8 and the Surface, didn't they? So,
Only Justin can invite people.
and they sold like 5 of the things. I'm looking for the share button. Oh, here we go.
Invite.
Here we go.
And turns out Galaxy S4 rigged reviews by looking at the apps that they use to do the benchmarks, and then they wrote in some special code that boosts the GPU when those benchmarks are being run. Bit sneaky.
Yeah,
And
it
of
is.
course, when you're Samsung, you need to cheat because your phones are crap.
I'm trying to invite, and it is telling me, oops, try again. So,
It said
gonna-
you did.
stop messing with that. Maybe I've clicked it too many times.
Where's the link for him?
I sent him a link.
You did?
He's typing something in a chat to me right now.
There we go. He's probably saying, no, guys, don't bother me right now. But you know what? We want you on the show. We want to hang out with you, Jackson.
He said,
So...
WTF.
What are you doing? Get on the show, dude. We want to hang out with you. Samsung has denied it, apparently, is what Make Use of Lovers saying.
Samsung would deny it because they're assholes. No, just kidding. Samsung is a fine
That's
company.
exactly right.
If you deny something, you're just an asshole. Is that how it is?
No.
Oh, man.
That's generally how it works in my world, yeah.
So you guys want to just fly to the airport in Moscow and hang out with Snowden next week? Could you do that for the show, Dave? I think that would be compelling.
Yeah, sure.
Sweet. Okay, so next week Dave's going to fly to Moscow and he's going to try to find Snowden. It's not like he has a room or something, right? He's just hanging out
Be
on a
sure to
bench
hold the
somewhere.
guy's hand while you're there as well.
Hold
Every
Snowden
once in
and
a
get
while,
arrested for it.
you're at an airport and you see that one person in the corner who just looks completely miserable and like they've been there for a month. And in this case, he actually has. So I feel bad for the guy at this point. I feel like punishment is time served at this point. They should just let him back into the country and have a perfectly normal life because no one should have to endure
Wasn't there a movie like that?
punishment is time served.
No. Staying in an airport.
Staying in it sounds riveting, which is why you probably can't remember. Yeah, that sounds just amazing. Yeah.
Jackson
Great
says
stuff.
no. He says he hates us and we're assholes and he wants us to die.
Jackson!
You suck.
He didn't say that.
The disappointment on one level hurts, but the language, that stinks, man. That's... Wow. It's if only you had some way of correcting the public record by coming on the show. We should just make it an end of the show tradition to invite someone. Well, I feel good about this show. I feel like we've accomplished some stuff. I feel like we've worked through our issues. James, you and I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be fine. Dave, you and I, we never had any problems. We're cool. What's up, bro?
Nah, dog, we're beefing.
We're beefing. But anyways, thanks so much to everyone who hung out in the chat room with us and contributed. If you want to check it live next week at makeuseof.com, the post usually goes up a bit before 11, and you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter in order to learn when the live show is going to happen. Otherwise, subscribe to us on iTunes. Leave a rating on iTunes. That would help us out a lot. Or if you don't want to help us, you can, I don't know, protest us in the streets of London.
Do stuff.
Get us off the internet. Get David Cameron to block us, whatever you want. I don't care. Thanks so much for listening. That's all for the show this week. Have a great rest of your week, guys. And let us know what's going on.
Big ups to Brooklyn.
What? You're from Connecticut. What?
I'm not that far from Brooklyn.
There you you have to like go through Manhattan to get whatever.
Big ups to Connecticut.
Connecticut, yo, Colorado, Canada, UK, all around.
Star Fox. Next to me for some
What
reason.
the hell are you
Star
talking
Fox.
about?
Nothing. Hey, Star Fox. Thanks so much for listening. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
I don't think I'm going to do the art on air because I'm actually hosting the show, and I don't have a way to do Photoshop on the computer that the show's being hosted from. So I think that's it. I'll hang out in the chat room in a bit. I'm
You
gonna.
can go log in from the other one as well.
Wouldn't that start a new stream though?
No, you just leave this one on and then go log in from your other computer too.
Well, I'm not gonna do that because I'm.
That
tired.
sounds like
Ah.
way too much work.
And you guys last week, all you wanted was me to make the title porn, and
That sounds like a good title.
yeah, okay, well, you design the art then. And you tell Ibeck why we just put the word porn 5 times on the front page of his website. You can do that. Because SEO. That's
What
what
else?
you said, James, and it's the first thing Kathy said when but that could be good for your SEO.
What if we call the title Oculus Fish?
Oculus Fish, I like it. Oculus
Walt.
Fish. That gives me some fun photoshopping to do. I think we've got it. Oculus Fish.
God, I'm the man. What's the chat saying right now? I don't have it open for some reason.
I'm
there it
sorry
is.
that the
Not a
show
good show
didn't live
today,
up to your
he said.
expectation. Who is this, Mr. Who? Wait, I didn't mean to ban you. What is this doing?
2 out of 5 iTunes rating. Awesome.
Mr. Impersonator. Cool. David Oh, we're going back to the David Cameron porn lover theme. Awesome. Let's do this. Let's have this conversation again.
James has to cheat because he is crap.
Hey Pierre, thanks for stopping by. Have a good night. Okay, so you want me to sign on again over here. And we need more gimmicks for the show, guys. We need like a game show component or something.
Oculus Fish.
Oculus Fish. Cool. I'm gonna make that art, but for now I'm gonna head out so that I can like start my morning. Guys, I'll get that to you soon, okay?
Oculus Fish.
Oculus Fish it is, guys.
Fish.
Bye.
Meow.